Good afternoon, happy Savage Saturday, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here. We're here with another Savage Saturday review, and today we're going to read you a story. We last did a story about this person in episode 98, and I'll put the link in the description below if you want to go back and visit that story with her. And we're talking about Jann of the Jungle, and I do a little bit more in that video talking about Jann of the Jungle, a little bit of the history. So we're just going to go right to the story in this one. If you want all that, it's in the video before, which I'll have the link to in the description below. But Jann of the Jungle made a couple appearances here in the Savage Tales magazine. This particular story in Savage Tales featuring Kazar, Lord of the Hidden Jungle, in issue number 8. So, fun right there. Now this went 11 issues and an annual, but let's get to our story. A short one, but so this is called Jann of the Jungle, The Drum Beats at Midnight. So as our story opens, we get a splash panel here of what's to come later in the issue, and it's of Jann over a pond of alligators, a river of alligators with on a vine with a guy about to cut it and drop her into there. But without further ado, it says, danger stalks the wilderness, a danger greater than the threat of any untamed beast. It is the peril brought by men of greed, marauders in the jungle who defy Jann herself in their search for power when the drum beats at midnight. And this guy that's on the branch about to cut her loose and drop her into the river with the beast, he says, you stuck your nose too far into my business. Now I gotta finish you. And I'll still get what I came after, the golden god of the midnight drum. So just a little quick peek inside the story to whet our appetite for to what's to come. As we drop down on the page, it says, it all begins when Jann and Pat enter strange jungle country in their search for pictures of the unknown and run into trouble. And Pat is the male companion that's with her. She is kind of his guide as he takes pictures because he's a photographer and a journalist in the wild here. So you see this native, and he's like, hold, no one goes further into the country of the golden god of the midnight drum. And he's holding up a spear, and the guy passes, hey, take it easy, we're not going to hurt you. And he grabs his camera, and it's the old style with the reel, and he's holding it up, and he says, but if you're looking for trouble, and Jann intercepts, she's like, Pat, wait, don't do anything. So we got our first page going, a little bit of mystery starting up right here. So some good stuff, and let's go to the creative team too. Do we have it? I'm not seeing them. I don't see it. That's all right. We will turn the page here, and as Pat is lowering his camera that he was going to use as a weapon, he says, "But he's going to kill us." And Jann says, "No, he's not. That man is sick. Pick him up, Pat, and let's take him to his village." Then we get to a descriptive panel. It says, then backtracking on the natives trail, Pat and Jann come upon the village and more danger. Pat says, they don't look as if they like us. Let's get out of here. To which Jann says, hail, people of the golden god. We bring you one of your warriors. He is sick with weariness. May we come further? The chief comes out and says, come further? You helped my warrior, so you must come in peace. And Jann says, you all look weak and sick, Chief. Why is this? And the chief replies, we are dying slowly from thirst. To which Jann, and he keeps talking. He says, our crops are already dead. The beasts of the dry jungle go mad from thirst and raid our village at night, and we grow weaker with each moment. And Jann says, but hasn't Bwana Jennings opened up his reservoir of water as he always does in a dry spell? And the chief replies, Bwana Jennings no longer has the reservoir. Another owns it, and he will not release its waters unless we turn over to him what is inside that temple. He seeks the golden god of the midnight drum, but we will defend it with our last breath of life. And then Pat says, the golden god of the midnight drum. That sounds exciting. Can I take a picture of it, Chief? And we go to our next page, and the chief says, the golden god is sacred. No one ever sees it or hears it until its people are in danger. To which Jann replies, you're in danger right now. Wait, I will see what can be done about the water to save your people. We go to descriptive text again, and our scene is shifted to a pair holding machine guns. It says, the reservoir of the tribe of the golden god, far on a mountaintop, remote, life-giving, and guarded by men of greed. And the first guy is talking like, the chief ought to be here soon. He can't hold out much longer. He needs the water bad. Which the other guy replies, boy, just to get our hands on that solid gold statue they got, it's worth a fortune. And then you see Jann swinging in the next panel. Machine guns in the jungle? That's not allowed, mister. And she kicks the first guy down. He's like, oh, and he falls backward. Then she punches the other guy, and she goes, I don't like pistols pointed at me. And the guy that just got socked and is falling back is like, grab her, Bull. I want her alive. So the guy named Bull grabs her by the arms. He says, hold it right there. What do you want her alive for, Yancey? I could finish her off. And to which the guy named Yancey replies, I can use her to get my hands on the golden god. And Yancey continues, you must be a friend of the golden god people. If so, they'll turn the idol over to me rather than see you killed. Get going. We'll be right behind you. And they have her advancing at gunpoint. And she's like, remember the threat of the golden god. When its people are endangered, its drum will beat, and disaster will befall its enemies. So we'll give you a look at those panels here, or those pages. So, fun little story. Jann sweeps in to try to stop him, immediately gets captured, but is leading them through the jungle. And these stories are of a time. They're fun. You just take them as they are and have a little bit of joy with them. So our next page goes, what was his name? The Yancey guy? Yes, Yancey is saying, that's a lot of nonsense. Besides, if it's true, why hasn't the drum beat so far? To which Jann replies, it beats only at midnight, and if this is the night, you two had better be miles away from here. And then she takes off running, and he's like, hey, she's getting away. I'll have to shoot her now. And Yancey says, not yet. Let's try to catch her first, as he's trying to stay Buck's hand from shooting. So she jumps, and she's off on her own. And as the guys go to pursue her, they fall into a trap. It says the two marauders rush ahead, right into a covered lion trap pit. They're like, oh, and they're falling, and they're in there. And you see Jann, she's like, good thing I spotted that trap. Now maybe I can open the dam and free the waters for the valley. And you see Buck helping Yancey up. He goes, just a little more and I'll make it. Hurry, Yancey. No telling what that gal is up to. Buck replies as he's pushing his friend up. And then once Yancey's out of the trap, he says, thanks, Bull. I was trying to figure out a way to get rid of you, and this is it. And then Bull's looking down. He's in the pit, and he's betrayed. He's like, why? You're not going to leave me here, are you? I'll die. I can't get out by myself. And Yancey just takes off. Says, but Yancey pays no attention to his trapped comrade. Ahead is Jann, and the golden god of the midnight drum. And he sees her swinging through the trees. And he goes, there she is, heading back to the reservoir. She's still the best chance I've got to get the golden god, so I got to keep after her. And as we get to our next page, we see Jann speaking. She's like, got to swing over the heads of the crocs and onto the dam. All right, crocodiles. I think I called them alligators earlier. And as she's swinging, he's climbing up in the tree. He goes, all right, you stuck your nose too far into my business. Now I got to finish you. And then we get a little descriptive panel that says, suddenly there comes the rapidly swelling deep thunder of drums rising from the water itself. And the guy has his knife. He's about to cut her loose. He's like, what's that? And you hear boom, boom, boom as the drums are sounding. And Jann says, the beating of the drums of the golden god. You're doomed. And then we go to the scripted paragraph and it says, and even more suddenly, the waters themselves erupt in a volcanic upheaval while the drum booms even louder. And it dislodges him from the branch, this great big burst of water which jettisons up. He's like, help! And Jann swings and grabs him. She's like, got you. And look at the water. It's rushing down into the valley. And then it says, and a little while later. And Jan's talking to Pat as he's filming the Golden Guy. Says, "You mean it wasn't a volcanic upheaval that freed the water?" And Pat says, "I saw the Golden God beat the drum. And right after that, the waters rushed down. The chief said it became midnight for his people when you were in real trouble. So the God acted. Miracle? You tell me." So a little bit more meaning to this Golden God. And that's where our tale ends. Midnight is representative of the darkest hour of the tribe, not necessarily midnight at that time, So once the tribe was in their darkest hour, the drums beat, the Golden God spoke, and helped save their people. And we'll get to these last 2 pages here. And just a fun little story. Jann of the Jungle is definitely a creation of its time. It would be great to see a new interpretation of her and just something fun. Of course, back then we had Shayna the She-Devil, and we had lots of experimental stuff. Shayna being the one that has persevered and lasted. And there's also stories of her in this mag, which I might explore one of those next week for you guys. But a fun little story of a fast-paced little tale. And, of course, there's like little tropes and stuff in it. No less enjoyable for them. But that's the story for this week. I hope you guys enjoy it. A light, fun little tale. Jann of the Jungle. Again, go back to episode 98 and the Savage Saturday playlist that I have if you want to see the first tale and a little bit more about Jann. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here for the story. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed this little piece of history that I'm trying to save in video format and just keep these stories alive. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep it casual.